Everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I am showing with you in more detail what's been going on here at the farm in our downtime in January. We've moved on to an upstairs attic renovation project, and if you don't already follow us on Instagram, you can see updates of different things that are going on in real time versus the editing process and the filming process that happens through YouTube. So if you're not already over there, go over to the channel and follow the link up in the upper right hand corner, and it'll take you over to Instagram so you can follow us right there. Now at our old house we had an oil tank in the basement. We also had one buried in a hillside outside. So a buried oil tank is a really good way to go if you can make sure that you're not having trouble with it or that you have access to it. So it's a good thing that we're getting done because it's going to help everything here run a lot more efficiently and save us a lot of money next year. So we've gotten back to our chimney repair. We're up in the attic, and you can see he's gotten some blocks out of the way here. And just a quick explanation I had mentioned previously. Now this job has been sitting here on hold for quite a while, and it's just a good time to do things. We've got the day off today, we've got some snow coming tomorrow, and what is all this dust coming from? It's picking up all the dust in the camera. Just when you started doing that, a little bit of ash and cinder. It looks like it's snowing.
It's not that bad. It must be.
The new phone came in and the camera on it is much better. So you'll notice a bit of a quality difference there. The water on the original chimney cap had gone bad, and water went down and filled this corner cavity here. And it cracked on both sides of it. So right to where it meets the attic floor joist line, they stopped cracking. So he's been busting them all out and taking them out. And the house was converted over. This was originally an oil-fired radiator system and a wood furnace. We were able to pick up a new add-on wood furnace, so we're going to be installing that. At one point they re-roofed and they just cut down the chimney and just went over it to not have to deal with it. So this one doesn't have damage. They just knocked it down to below the roof line. So we special ordered these. We had to get them from a special block masonry company. The local people only had smaller chimney flues and chimney blocks. So we've got everything on hand to start working on this. We just need the temperature to kind of cooperate with us for working above the roof line. But as far as everything else that we've got going on, we're wanting to insulate the attic a little better, and we've been kind of redistributing. We've got an access panel there. We needed some new insulation over that way. We've been converting our outer wall here. It just had a little octagon window. So if you follow us on Instagram, you can see that we got some new Pella double hung windows that we just put in. We were able to, at the end of a season going into spring, pick up a wood add-on furnace. He said it was about $600, and it was originally probably a $1,600 wood add-on furnace. And this was many years ago, so I know the prices have gone higher. But if you're looking at adding on a heat source, that's a good way to go because, as you know, we've got all these woods here, and we do the maple syrup, and we've got the timber to burn. So we are needing the double chimney complete so that we're able to use that. Because the whole house is heated with geothermal and it has an electric water heater, we didn't need this. So this will also allow us to be able to switch to, if we would like, an oil-fired water heater, which would be much more convenient and efficient for us, because when the geothermal isn't producing that hot water for us, then the electric kicks in, and our electric bill is high just because of the water, the electric dryer, and pumping water for animals.
Yeah, we'll have a oil-fired hot water heater in that one, and wood furnace for this one. We will do that.
Yeah.
The electric is because of the hot water mostly. Well, that's all the bad ones.
Great. We just have to figure out where we want to put a oil tank because they took out and capped the oil pipes. They're still there, but I'm using that space in the basement for other things. So
I took it out. It was junk.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was all rusted out. It was an outside tank from the older house they had here. And then they put it in this house, and I didn't like it at all, so I knew I wasn't going to use it, so I took it out. That's why I put the shelves in that spot.
Right.
So I didn't want that tank.
So the trick is trying to get these blocks up this ladder. So this is our attic entryway. As you can see, we're having some heat loss up there. This is a very small space to try to get that up. So I'm going to go up there. He's already taken a block up. We'll see how far he's got. What's your mortar mix there, guy? Oh, that's nice. Not too wet at all.
That'll do her.
Actually, it might be a little too wet. I've seen those guys on shows do it, but you want it wet so it seals all in like that, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good right there.
Yeah. So how much did you bring up?
I brought about a half a bucket up because there's no way to get I couldn't put the bag on my shoulder and fit through the hole. Like these, I had to carry them like a suitcase, get up to the top of the ladder, and then lift them up like this and set them on that 2x4. Well, with the bag right here, because you know your back's basically touching that board.
Yeah.
So I just put some in this bucket and brought a gallon of milk in that milk jug.
Okay.
I don't even know if this is the right amount. This is my first one. So.
Well, it's coming along. We had to put some floor joists in just to be able to walk up here so that we aren't standing on the bottoms of the rafters. And that helped a lot. But, you know, these are some big, heavy blocks.
Yeah.
Are they 2x2?
Huh?
Are they 2x2?
I think they call them 16s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not enough mortar for one block. It's all falling down these holes.
Oh.
I guess you'll be mixing a lot of mortar.
No, I'm not good at that. I'm here to film. Sometimes the helper doesn't want to work. Today is one of those days. It has felt like morning the whole day. Good day for editing videos and filming. Being the bystander.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit. So, that's okay. There's only so many we can put in here. We can't lay them outside yet.
Yeah.
What was it, 20?
I got up to 23 today. It was, I don't know how cold last night. It was 3 the other night.
I think it was 3 below last night, wasn't it?
And we've got like up to a 46% chance of snow between the middle of the night tonight and tomorrow afternoon. So more shoveling coming up.
Man, I'm losing all my mortar down these.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll mix a bunch more and then I wasn't sure. But...
So, what are you putting it? Like ½ inch or so thick all the way around?
½ inch.
Okay.
I think those are 7.5 and they call them 8, so.
Oh, that's what the gallon of water was for.
Yeah.
We don't drink city water when we go to the workhouse. It is chlorinated and it's got fluoride in it too. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I don't want it in my body. So anyways, I just assumed a gallon of water was drinking water to take with us. We have been known to stop at the local grocery store if we don't take enough water. If you go to the like baby department, they have distilled nursery water for babies mixing formula at home. I don't need all the distillation and you can get fluoride added bottled water too because they want to sell you on that if you are on well water. I know that was a big thing when the kids were little. They asked if we were drinking bottled water, and I think they were finding that kids not having city water that had that in it were getting more cavities instead of taking care of the kids' teeth with proper care. I haven't been up here for a few days. This is what he got done. We had to put this window in. We had a viewer comment that we had some algae on the outside of the house, and it's because it's on the north side of the house that doesn't get any sun, and of course it's always covered in bird poo because of this pine tree. Well, there was just this little octagon window here, and it was leaking. We had condensation. There were areas that they never really filled it in around the edges of the frame, and there was just a thin layer of the vinyl siding on the outside. On the other window, there's a half-inch gap where there's nothing. So I had noticed when I was power washing last, right here, down in there, the siding was bulging really bad. And you can see this has gotten wet from the window. Well, I knew I didn't want to power wash it and get into trouble, but we had some bowing going on here from washing it and just from moisture. So we decided it was a good time to go ahead, pull that in. He wrapped a towing strap around it, pulled it in, and built this whole wall all the way across, because the only thing on the inside of our house is this insulating blackboard. I don't know if it's wrapped on the outside or not, but I just knew it was time to not power wash that. So we picked these up. If you are wanting to save money, you can always watch for a sale. You can always install the windows yourself like we did, but they're also offering energy rebates through your electric companies, and I think it's like $15 per window, and then there's different ones for insulation also. So probably for heat loss, we'll add a little bit of extra insulation anywhere we can, but it's a really nice looking window. One barely fits.
It's almost touching.
Oh man, I guess.
Pretty good. Guess we're not going to get two there.
Yeah. We're just trying to get ahead of some of the work for doing the outside part, which obviously you can't do without it being covered and heated and whatever because of the freezing, which is the important thing and what got us into this in the first place. If your sill cap goes bad, then that water doesn't have anywhere to go but in. And I even saw when I was at the store looking for some stovepipe, they have a sill cap repair product to fill in those minor cracks and imperfections so that you don't get to this point. Oh yeah, looking good.
They were crooked. So I'm going to bring it out of it. As soon as I can.
Remember that your furnaces, your wood stove, any of that, even your water heater, doesn't operate properly if it doesn't have the correct amount of draft, which is going to come into play with your chimney cleanouts. Because this is a double chimney, we have 2 cleanouts in the basement. We brought home the shop vac. We filled 2 5-gallon buckets full of either soot or debris from knocking down some of the blocks. And just with the years of it, you know, crumbling before we got there. I don't know that we ever cleaned it out before, did we?
Here?
Yeah.
We've never used it. It was bad before we bought it. So.
Right. And our water heater is electric. It's on the geothermal loop for our furnace also. This is the good time of year. Make sure you're not wasting all that energy and wasting the money by not having things running efficiently. Go downstairs and clean out your chimney with your clean out door. It's not a hard job. You can save a lot of money, especially if you are having a standby wood heater add-on furnace deal that is just sitting there not being used, because it is a job that a child can do. Trey cleaned out all of it on his own, and Dad just checked his work and, you know, went over it. And then we did another one at the workhouse to make sure that it was all clean. And I did the one at the workhouse when we were working on the roof, when I was checking out about the water leaking.
I don't know why they got it so crooked, but I'll have to put more mortar over here. Maybe I should have lifted it off, but this will get it.
Yeah.
You can see just by eye
Mm-hmm.
that they were off. Let me just raid them through an attic real quick and obviously didn't do a good job. The cap failed. This chimney was out of service when the house was over 13 years old. It was already wrecked. The cap had failed.
Mm-hmm.
Froze up here, and then they put geothermal in anyway.
Yeah, and this whole everything here, they had switched from oil to the geothermal and electric. And when they did that, they must have had a oil boiler, because we see sections where there's baseboard that was patched in.
It was hot water heat,
Mm-hmm.
and he had the house built with 2 flues. He had wood heat from brand new, back up, and then it must have been a wood boiler, because when they put the geothermal in to have air conditioning, the heat ducts are the same age as the geothermal.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he had a wood boiler, which is great, but no
Yeah.
air conditioning, see? So then when he just switched the whole house over. It would have been quite expensive to put the geothermal in, because that's a lot of money, and then he had to have them run heat ducts,
Yeah.
tear out he had them tear out the radiators.
It is terrific air conditioning in the
Yeah, it's real
summertime.
good.
It keeps up like nothing else that we've
The
ever
heat's real
had.
good.
Heat wise, you know, it's not like the oil heat that we're used to at all. So right now you're just filling in any gaps where it didn't mush out the sides.
Yeah, I had that. So, this isn't really the best job, because see how it is? You're sitting on a little bit of mortar, and I can't be terribly aggressive getting the mortar off
Yeah.
and break that next block, because then I'm down into the main floor. So I had a little bit of dried mortar from before
Yeah.
that it's sitting on. It's not. Now once I get that one on there, it'll be going like normal. I can't even use my level very well on the sides,
Yeah.
because you're running into mortar. See, he wasn't even straight here.
Yeah, right there. There's a bump off.
So anyway, if you look, it was just some high-speed guy, and he just kind of threw it in, because none of it was anywhere anybody could see.
Right.
And then he just should have done a better job on the cap.
Nothing for show, just
No, it's not.
slap it up.
It's not brick anywhere, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to get the
Yeah.
exhaust away from the boiler and the wood, and that's it.
And like he's saying here like this, you can't do that on this side. We had to knock some of that off even, because your chimney block on this side is going to go nearly right up to that. There's, you know, maybe a half an inch between the two sets
It
of
was
blocks.
just some subcontractor. A building company built the house.
Oh yeah.
It was just some guy. Didn't care. So we'll get him straightened up. I got a lot more room there to get straight and get everything level before I go through the roof. And then, unfortunately, that's west.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see, looking out, how high. I got to build that up quite high outside, because if your chimney's too low, here's your roof.
Mm-hmm.
Wind will come up over, follow that roof down, and push down on your chimney and create a
So we got to go up higher
You got to go higher
than the peak.
There's a formula.
Yeah.
So you got to know. There's a lot of things that affect draft, and that there's houses that can smell oil. They have a sooty house. They can smell wood burning forever, their whole life, and they can't figure out what it is. And it's the simplest little things here and there. And one of them is just where you put the chimney. The chimney should have been right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You want your chimney in the middle of the house. You want your heat plant in the middle of the house, so your ductwork's all even. They got that pretty good, but you want your chimney in the middle because then you get more draft. When you have your chimney just on the outside of a house, 3 sides of it could be 30 below zero, and you only have one side. There might be, one interior wall, and then you're relying on the heat from the wasted fuel to create a draft, and it's harder and harder and harder. So it's good that it's inside, but it would really have been better if that's west and your peak runs north and south. It should be direct. It's nice to flash them when they're right in the middle, or a little bit on that side, and then you actually have that wind coming up and helping you pull draft. And then you're like on oil, your damper doesn't hardly even close. It's always pulling. And but this is better than if it was on the outside. So,
Okay.
We'll get her.
We always do. at this. I was out shoveling snow today, and he came up here and finished his masonry job of below the roof sections. He strung up our work lights all around the edge to help give a little more light. There's insulation here on both chimneys, and he opened up the chimney doors or the cleanouts in the basement. We brought up a thermometer so that we would know what the temperature is, and it's roughly about 38 right now. So we're keeping it above freezing so this can slowly cure and dry. We'll leave the lights on tonight so that is going to provide a little extra heat, because in the meantime we haven't any heat runs or anything like that going on, and we don't want to, you know, have it cold and then be able to use our wood add-on furnace, you know, with any cracks or damages. But this is getting this job done for now, and we can rest for the night and enjoy a day of rest tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.